Hiruzen Sarutobi was, without a doubt, Naruto's biggest enemy. Out of all the enemies Naruto ever faced, none of them disliked him as much as old man Sarutobi did. When Kushina was dying, she begged the old man to take care of her son, and he just said, "Don't worry." Even Judas wasn't that much of a traitor. Now tell me, what was so hard about taking care of the kid? Instead, he let Naruto get humiliated by the village and eat spoiled food. Do you realize this old man would give Naruto, a literal child, some money, and expect him to survive the whole month on his own? How's a kid supposed to figure that out? On top of that, he just told Naruto to figure it out himself. When Naruto asked about his parents, what did Sarutobi say? Nothing. How hard would it have been to tell him that his parents were heroes of the village? He could have even trained Naruto himself. And when Naruto found out he had the 9 tails inside him, the same beast that destroyed the village, Sarutobi could have explained, "Look, this monster is inside you because your father saved the village. That makes you a hero." But no, he didn't say anything to Naruto. Honestly, Orochimaru killing him was the most heroic act in the whole series. Hiruzen Sarutobi was, without a doubt. Naruto and Sasuke got nerfed in the most ridiculous way. Ishiki couldn't even beat Sasuke one-on-one. Now imagine him taking on both of them at full power. He should have been beaten to a pulp. We all know that without some serious plot armor, that horned guy didn't stand a chance. Remember that little trick Sasuke has, Amenotejikara? Dude, that's basically the most broken teleportation ever. Well, in the fight against Ishiki, Sasuke only used it defensively. The guy has this insane power and only used it to defend himself. Let's be real, if he'd used it offensively, there wouldn't even have been a fight. On top of that, Sasuke somehow forgot how to use the 6 paths powers. He can steal chakra, repel attacks with Chibaku Tensei, and even rip out souls. But against Ishiki, he got hit with a case of amnesia and got his butt kicked. Hard. Naruto got wrecked just to use Baryon mode. In that mode, all he did was drain Ishiki's life force. He didn't even finish the job. It was up to Boruto and Kawaki to clean up the mess. And to make things worse, Kurama bit the dust. But honestly, it was all or nothing at that point. Now Sasuke lost his Rinnegan to a freaking kunai. Hands down, the worst fight outcome ever. Hard truths about Naruto that no one wants to accept. Obito could easily be considered one of the biggest threats to Konoha. So, why didn't Itachi take him out? The answer is simple. Itachi couldn't handle him, and he knew it. Facing Obito head-on was way too risky because of his overwhelming strength. Instead, Itachi chose to keep a close eye on him and monitor his movements while undercover in the Akatsuki. By doing this, Itachi could deal with multiple threats without unnecessary fights. Plus, his presence bought Konoha more time to prepare, especially to train the next generation. But who would win in a straight-up fight? If it came down to it, there's not much Itachi could do. Obito was basically his biggest counter. Think about it. Tsukuyomi wouldn't work on Obito because Itachi himself said only someone with the Sharingan can resist it. Amaterasu wouldn't do much either, since we've seen Obito handle it easily. Obito's intangibility with Kamui, which he can use almost endlessly, would make Itachi's attacks useless. Long story short, Itachi would get wrecked. Cry all you want, fanboys, but he couldn't take Obito. And like I said at the beginning, Itachi knew it too. Do you know which Sage Mode was the most powerful in Naruto Shippuden? First, let's talk about the characters who mastered each type of Sage Mode. Naruto was the best user of Toad Sage Mode. Sure, Jiraiya was also a great user, but it's important to note that the stage he reached was still incomplete. So Naruto stands out as the best user of this mode. Kabuto achieved the complete Snake Sage Mode and, without a doubt, was the best user. Orochimaru also tried to perfect this mode but couldn't reach the complete stage, only gaining access to limited abilities. So, Kabuto was the best user of Snake Sage Mode. Finally, we have Hashirama. Interestingly, we don't know the source of his Sage Mode. The only thing we know is that he could gather natural energy exceptionally well. Even so, he was the best user of this mode. Now, we have the 3 best users of each Sage Mode. In Naruto, which of these 3 modes was the best? In my opinion, Hashirama's Sage Mode is the most powerful. Not only did he master natural energy in a unique way, but he also demonstrated incredible abilities that surpassed even the other modes. Naruto theories that actually make sense. Jiraiya and Sakumo are Tobirama's sons. This theory claims that Jiraiya and Sakumo had their names changed and were separated by Hiruzen Sarutobi to protect the Senju clan's lineage. It makes sense because both are incredibly powerful and share similar traits. Plus, the Hokages of the Leaf Village have a habit of hiding their families. Naruto and Hinata's marriage was set up. This theory suggests that Hinata's father, Hiashi Hyuga, orchestrated Naruto and Hinata's relationship. He supposedly put them on the same missions and let Neji humiliate Hinata during the Chunin exam so Naruto would feel bad for her. All of this was to strengthen the Hyuga clan by uniting it with the Uzumaki clan. Minato is Tsunade's son. This one's pretty straightforward. We know that Ashura's reincarnations are born into the main branch of the Senju clan. Since Naruto is Ashura's reincarnation, one of his parents would need to be from the Senju clan. Kushina is an Uzumaki, which is a branch of the Senju clan. So Minato would have to be Tsunade's son to belong to the main Senju family. Their ages line up for a mother-son relationship, and it's known that many Senju clan members split off and changed their names. Was Orochimaru the strongest of the three legendary Sannin? This is a tough question, and needs a deeper explanation. Back when the three were Genin, I think no one doubts that Jiraiya was the weakest. Tsunade did a bit better, and Orochimaru was considered a genius. However, things changed when Jiraiya was chosen by the Toads during the Second Great Ninja War. Jiraiya became a beast, but Orochimaru was still incredibly powerful, and Tsunade had monstrous strength, a huge amount of chakra, and an exceptional arsenal of healing jutsu. As adults, Orochimaru was strong enough to take on Hiruzen and four-tailed Naruto, but Jiraiya kept an eye on him and was fully capable of confronting him at any time. Itachi toyed with Orochimaru, but when it came to Jiraiya, he admitted it would at most be a draw. As for Tsunade, if we look at her during the Pain arc, she didn't do as much as Jiraiya, who fought Pain's paths head-on. Considering the Sannin and their achievements, I don't think we can ever definitively rank them. But still, in my opinion, Jiraiya was the strongest. 3 interesting records from the Chunin exams. Minato has the highest score on the written exam. The first phase of the Chunin exam is usually a written test, where the goal is to answer the questions or cheat without getting caught. In Naruto Shippuden, it was revealed that Minato got the highest score in this phase. The light novel doesn't specify if he cheated or answered everything on his own, but he holds the top score. Itachi has the second highest score on the written exam. Itachi also stood out in this phase. He could have cheated, but since he knew all the answers, he didn't need to, and ended up with the second highest score. Fastest time in the second phase of the Chunin exam. The second phase involves entering the Forest of Death, completing the objectives, and making it out alive. The record for the fastest completion belongs to Gaara's team, who finished in 1 hour and 37 minutes, thanks to Gaara's absolute defense. They tackled 10 kilometers of forest, shinobi, traps, giant insects, and poisonous animals, all without getting touched. Before them, the record was held by Itachi, who completed the phase in 5 hours, but he did it alone, and without any help. Quickest completion of the third phase, the fights. Itachi also holds the record for the third phase, where the fights happen. He showed off his incredible skills in his first match, and the examiners decided he didn't need to fight anymore because he'd already proven he had what it takes to become a Chunin. Gaara barely made it out alive against Kimimaro, who was pretty much his natural counter. Yeah, Gaara won, but it was by the skin of his teeth, and that's undeniable. Right off the bat, Gaara tried to impale Kimimaro with his sand coffin. Gaara doesn't mess around. If he's coming at you, it's game over. But this time, he failed miserably. Kimimaro was the first one to break out of the sand coffin. When he resisted being crushed, Gaara realized this guy was going to be a huge problem. The dude withstood 2 insane levels of pressure. So Gaara had to pull out the big guns, a sand tsunami, followed by a massive crushing move. But Kimimaro survived thanks to his second stage cursed mark. At this point, Gaara was in trouble. Kimimaro summoned his drill, and for the third time, Gaara tried to impale him, but Kimimaro was already deep underground. Just when it seemed like it was all over, Kimimaro started the fern dance. And it was Gaara who almost got taken out. Kimimaro is, without a doubt, one of the strongest and most durable characters in the original series. Gaara was saved in the last few seconds because Kimimaro's illness took him out. Otherwise, he would have drilled straight through Gaara. Samehada is undoubtedly one of the most powerful swords in the Naruto universe. And this is not an exaggeration. It is far from being an ordinary weapon. It is a sentient, living entity. Samehada is a massive sword with a mouth at its tip and is covered in scales. This unique weapon has the ability to cut through and consume chakra. The more chakra it absorbs, the larger and stronger it becomes. One of Samehada's most remarkable abilities is its capacity to fuse with its wielder, as demonstrated when it merged with Kisame Hoshigaki. In this fused state, Kisame's power increased exponentially, making him so formidable that even Killer B, a highly skilled Jinchuriki, struggled to defeat him and nearly lost the battle. Additionally, Samehada can transfer the absorbed chakra to its wielder, significantly enhancing their regenerative capabilities. Despite its overwhelming power, Samehada has a critical flaw. It can betray its user at any moment if it encounters someone with chakra it deems more appealing, as it did when it abandoned Kisame during his fight with Killer B. Another intriguing aspect of Samihara is its aversion to fire release chakra. Due to its sentient nature, it becomes enraged when forced to absorb chakra of this element, showcasing its unique personality and preferences. What if Sasuke had killed Naruto at the Valley of the End? If Sasuke had killed Naruto at the Valley of the End, he would have become a true rogue. By killing Naruto, he would have likely severed his last tie to Konoha and fully embraced the darkness. Kakashi, Tsunade, and other ninjas from the village would have been even more determined to hunt him down, possibly sending an elite force to eliminate him rather than just trying to bring him back. Tsunoa would have been devastated, as Naruto was her great hope for the village's future. Jiraiya might have gone into a destructive rage and tried to hunt down Orochimaru and Sasuke on his own. Sakura, who was already emotionally shattered by Sasuke's betrayal, could have developed deep hatred or an obsession with revenge. Without Naruto, there would be no Nine Tails Jinchuriki to capture, which would have changed the Akatsuki's plans. They might have tried to seal Kurama in another way, or even focused more on Sasuke, seeing his potential. With Naruto's death, Sasuke might have awakened the Mangekyo Sharingan earlier, potentially becoming even stronger before his training with Orochimaru. This would have made him a much greater threat, possibly allowing him to face Itachi sooner. The Great Toad Sage prophesied that Naruto was the chosen ninja. Therefore, his death could have meant that the shinobi world would never find balance, leaving Kaguya or Madara unopposed in the future.